Greetings. My name is Abdullah, and I am your teacher from New York City for Advanced English. Subscribe and write your full name in the comments, your first and the last, and I will use your name in example sentences in my video, inshallah. After saying that, let's get started. Today's headline is: Man, 18, dies from tapeworm larvae in his brain after eating pork. And this article comes to us from skynews.com. And the author is Lucia Binding. A MRI scan showed there were white cysts all over his brain caused by the larva of Taenia solium, a tapeworm found in pigs. And again, this is by Lucia Binding, news reporter. Here we see a picture of the individual's brain, and the white spots that you see are eggs that hatched from a worm. Hatched meaning opened up, like you have a chicken egg and then a chicken comes out. Here we have worm eggs and the worms came out. As it says here, image: a scan showed the man's brain was infected by Taenia solium, which is known as the pork tapeworm. So again, this happened to him after eating pork or pig meat. This article will give us examples of the dangers of eating pork. So pay close attention to it, as well as the vocabulary that I will teach you bi'idhnillah. A man died when tapeworm eggs hatched in his brain after eating contaminated pork. The unnamed 18-year-old visited the emergency room in India after suffering violent seizures after parasites spread to his brain. His parents told doctors in Faridabad, India, that he had experienced pain in the right side of his groin for a week. On physical examination, he had swelling over his right eye, a tender right testicle, and was confused, according to a case study in the New England Journal of Medicine. Let us get a better understanding of the meaning of the word contaminated. Contaminated means to make something less pure. For example, the oil tanker spilled over 1 million gallons of oil into the sea, so the water became contaminated. Again, don't contaminate the crime scene with your footsteps, fingerprints, or DNA. Last sentence: their land was contaminated by toxic chemicals. So, contaminate means to make something less pure, usually by mixing something in with something else that changes the original. An MRI scan of his head showed there were white spots all over his brain. I don't know why this says "and," it should be a MRI scan. As it says here, illustration, image, an illustration of tapeworm infestation in a human intestine. So this is an actual picture. This is not an actual picture. This is an illustration. Each white spot was a cyst caused by the larva of Taenia solium, a tapeworm found in pigs. Doctors also found cysts in the patient's eye and testes. In other words, the eggs had hatched in this individual's eye and testes. The cysts caused damage in his cerebral cortex, which is the outer mantle of brain tissue, as well as the brain stem, including the cerebellum at the back of the head. Damage is a word that you will see a lot used in law as well as in medicine. Damage means to harm a person, property, or someone's reputation. For example, the hailstorm did so much damage that people had bruises and even broken bones. Another sentence to explain the word damage. The earthquake caused much damage to buildings, bridges, and transportation. Lastly, and this is an example we all can understand, the children were playing in the living room and they damaged our 85-inch TV screen. So again, damage means to do harm to a person, property, or reputation. Image. Pigs become infected by eating the tapeworm eggs in human feces infected with a tapeworm. So that means pigs eat feces. Continuing. The man was diagnosed with neurocysticercosis, which is a special form of cysticercosis, the tissue infection caused by the young form of tapeworm that affects the brain. Doctors prescribed him steroids and antibiotics, but he died 2 weeks later. A person can get the condition by eating food or drinking water contaminated with eggs found in the feces of another person who has intestinal tapeworm, and it is not infectious. The larvae crawl out of the eggs and form cysts in the muscles and brain tissues. Let's discuss the meaning of the word infectious. Infectious has different ways it can be used, but here it means able to pass a disease to a person, animal, or plant. For example, the evil scientists discovered a way to make their technology infectious, which caused fruit trees to stop producing fruit. Another example, the Joker spread an infectious gas in the air that caused the citizens to laugh themselves to death. One more sentence. The highly infectious virus spread through the city rapidly, turning people into human fungi. So again, infectious means able to pass a disease to a person, animal, or plant. It can cause neurological symptoms and is one of the most common causes of seizures in developing countries. Both the tapeworm infection, also known as teniasis, and cysticercosis occur globally, with the highest rates of infection in areas of Latin America, Asia, and Africa that have poor sanitation and free-ranging pigs that have access to human feces. You cannot get cysticercosis simply by eating undercooked pork. However, eating undercooked pork that contains larval cysts can result in intestinal tapeworm. Pigs become infected by eating the tapeworm eggs in human feces infected with a tapeworm. Let's take a moment to understand the expression to occur globally. Globally means across the whole world. For example, globally, there is no English channel like this one, so subscribe. Another example. Globally, over 100 million people saw that movie in just the first week. Now it is your turn. Write to me an example sentence using one of the words that I have explained to you in this video. And lastly, as always, I wish for myself and yourself, for my family and your family, the best in this life and the next. Fi aman ar-Rahman.